Hello guys, welcome back to the channel once again. Today I'm super mega excited to share this brand new couple with you guys, and today we will be sharing the storyline of Silvia and Sonia. And let me tell you, this one is 100 trillion% worth the watch. But before we get into further details, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and also let me know your personal opinion down below in the comments if you guys are currently following the series.
Y según la nueva terapeuta también tenemos que...
Dramática como Lorenzo, mucho menos en una situación, pues...
De la tal Natasha esa, como 20 años.
Necesitamos hablar, por favor.
Claro que vamos a hablar, pero primero te voy a...
No voy a hacer molestia.
Es que ustedes no saben. A ese lugar al que fuimos, donde caminas horas.
Yes, so basically the guest, La Huéspede, is a family led by a politician, Lorenzo, and his wife, Silvia, is already dealing with infidelity and their daughter's, personal problems. Their already strained relationship is thrown into turmoil when Sonia, a woman from Silvia's past, who had an intimate encounter with her, arrives unexpectedly at their home. Sonia's presence sets off a chain of events as she manipulates the family, exposing the secrets and also engaging in a psychological game of revenge that puts everyone's lives at risk. Yeah, so basically, Sonia, she arrives to Sylvia's house as a visitor who's supposedly escaping her toxic husband because they got into a very bad argument. So she went, in this case, to Sylvia's house in order to find refuge. So her husband, in this case, cannot find her or find her location, where she's actually set at. Sylvia is the center protagonist of this whole series. Her world is in turmoil, a broken marriage. She's also trying to fix her relationship with her daughter. And also at the same time, she's trying to figure out, what is for her, like, will her marriage, will the second chance to her marriage actually, be worth the try? So her husband is also really trying really hard, even though he has a lot of temptations, when it comes to women and, being in this case a cheater once again. So how did the two meet in this case, Silvia and Sonia? Sonia in this case, they met during a trip when Silvia was taking, some time off from her marriage. So her and her husband, they have decided to take some time apart. So she went and did a solo trip. So on the solo trip, she actually met Sonia. The two had an affair and spent some quality time together during the trip. But after the trip, Sylvia actually went back to her home, in this case, to her husband and to her family, and has, decided to focus again on her marriage and give, it a second chance. And one day out of the blue, when everybody thought everybody at this point was moving on with their lives, Sonia knocks on Silva's door, and that's where the whole story actually begins. So I just want to clarify one thing up real quick. I just got into the series. I'm currently at episode 4, moving forward to episode 5. So I still don't have the full details, from the beginning to the end, but I will give you guys a part 1 review on what is going on currently until, in this case, episode 4, when it comes to their relationship, affair, whatever they have going on. So at this point, you can see that, Sylvia's husband, he's really trying, to regain her love, to regain their intimacy level. But, with, in this case, Sonia being in the house is a little bit more difficult, because you can see that Sylvia at some point, he does want, Sonia, she basically wants Sonia to leave, because she feels like Sonia is some way, somehow indirectly, not being like, she's not like being mean, but she just feel like in this case, she needs to be alone with her husband in order for them to figure out what is happening, because having Sonia in the house is making, in this case, Silvia some way reminisce about the moments that the two had spent together on the trip. Also, we have to keep in mind that, in this case, Sylvia, she left her husband for cheating a couple times on her. So she went on the trip and she also cheated, but she never told her husband that, Sonia is not just any friend that she met while on the trip. This is actually a friend that she met and she got physically involved with. So her husband doesn't know that yet. So you can also see that currently Sylvia is going through a very tough situation when it comes to her daughter, because her daughter, she wanted to impress a couple of friends. She took her father's car, and in this case, they accidentally hit a person that is in the hospital in a coma, basically fighting for his life. So now they are trying to figure out what they're gonna do, because her husband, Silvia's husband in this case, just found out that the daughter was the one to blame for it, and Silvia doesn't know yet. According to me, by episode 4, keeping that in mind, you can see that Sonia, she's she's up to something. She has set cameras all over Silvia's house. She's acting very strange. She knows that and this case Silvia's husband has a weakness for women. She just be dressing the way she wants to dress in the house, and it's just a whole lot going on. But one thing I can definitely say is that there is a chemistry. You currently can see that Silvia and Sonia, they will relapse and possibly revive that affair that they had on the trip, because you can see that Sonia is up to something. She's definitely up to something. I still couldn't figure out what it is, but you can somehow see that she is the villain of the story, from my point of view, until the episodes that I got into. And you can see that Silvia is in a very vulnerable state of her life, where she's trying to figure out, how to move forward, how to do better, how to rebuild, how to forgive. So having someone that you had an affair with in your house, it does make things a little bit more complicated. And there actually came a point, at episode 4, you can see that Silvia, she wanted to have a conversation with Sonia and tell her, hey, I really want to help you. I did help you, but I do feel like it's time for you to go. But Sonia, she already had her plans intact just in case Silvia was gonna put her out of the house. So she called her ex, and when Silvia saw how her ex spoke to her, she was just like, forget it. You can stay as long as you need in the house. So now Sonia will be like a permanent guest, so far as what I can see in Silvia's house, and that is definitely gonna make things a little bit more complicated when it comes to Silvia rekindling her relationship with her husband. So there is a whole lot going on. But one thing I have to say is that you can see there is a chemistry between the two, even though they know it's not the right time for them to even think about getting involved with one another. But you can see slowly but surely, episode by episode, the tension actually building between those two women. Like you can just see that, that moment at that trip wasn't just a moment. It actually might have meant something, or it could have just been a whole plan, of Sonia all the way along. But only time will tell, what the reality actually will be. Because Silvia, actually during our conversation, she told Sonia that what happened with them on the trip is something that will never happen again, that she doesn't regret doing it, but they need to leave that in the past and just move forward. But Sonia actually has an opposite opinion. She's like, no, that it wasn't just a thing, it actually meant something to me, and it did meet, in this case, meant something to you as well, even though you are in denial regarding it. And I will just take things for what it is. I'm not here, to ruin what you have going on with your husband. I just want a safe place until I figure out my situation with my ex. So that is still something that we have to, figure out if it's actually true or a lie. But only time will tell. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm only in episode 4, because this series actually has 20 episodes. So I still have a long way to go. It is basically called, like I already said in the beginning, La Huésped, the guest, and you guys can watch it on Netflix depending on your location. And yes, it is a Colombian series. Yes, it's a Colombian series, but we all know when it comes to Netflix, they do have subtitles and all of that good stuff available, so you guys don't have to worry regarding that. But I have to say this one is 100% worth the watch, because they do get a lot of camera time. Like they are the main center of this whole story, with her husband as well. So I will highly recommend you also go ahead and go watch. It's definitely giving what it's supposed to give, because let me tell you, it's only getting better and better and better. And the quality, the acting, everything, definitely for me, I will rate it so far a strong 8 out of 10 in my personal opinion. So yes, guys, that's basically it. Part 1 review. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Until the next video, and goodbye.